Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. All right, there's a big controversy involving, this TikToker, Jamie Walker. But
no.
It rhymes, though, TikToker, Jamie Walker. Wow. That's cool. But I don't know who the hell Jamie Walker is. Anybody?
She's a huge TikTok star, clearly.
Oh, it's a she. I was thought it was a dude.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Jamie can go either way with this. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, well, Jamie, she says that her now ex-husband...
Wait a second. So you just questioned if I knew if it was a woman or a man, and the next sentence you read is you gave the pronoun of she.
Well, because it's ex-husband, and we think it might be. So do we know? Have we figured it out? Anyway, whoever Jamie is has an ex-husband.
Okay.
Yeah. So either way, this ex-husband's in a lot of hot water because the ex-husband apparently had a 5-year affair with Jamie's mom, and in the story it says her. So yes, we've identified.
Yes, I know. That's why I said I was making fun of you. The next sentence you said after questioning me was the word she. You used the word she.
Oh, right.
And you're like, I don't know if she's a man or a woman.
Yeah,
but the next sentence you read was she.
Well, I put the she in there, and that still is really
I'm looking at the story and it says she.
Well, no, it says her ex-husband right there.
The next sentence. Right
well, I haven't started that one yet.
And then also her.
Yeah, well, the her part, you're right. That's the story. I got that one.
Okay.
But I mean, anyway, she's a she, and she has an ex-husband, and apparently the ex-husband had a 5-year affair with Jamie's mom.
Dear Penthouse, I never thought this would happen to me.
Yeah, this is, she says that he got caught when her then 16-year-old son walked in on the couple in the middle of hooking up. This is a beating. Here she is talking about the whole thing.
My then 16-year-old son, who's now 25, walked in on my now ex-husband with my mom doing what they had been doing, apparently for the last 5 years. There was a showdown. My son was like, if you don't tell her, I'm going to tell her. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't in a position to financially take care of myself for the kids at that time. So we stuck it out, did therapy. We moved to Tennessee eventually for a new start. And then he ended up having an affair with a 60-year-old coworker. I apparently am just too young.
Well, he has a thing. He has a type.
Yeah.
And sorry, Jamie, you're not it for the next 30 years.
Yeah. So the 60, so he's so that's the thing. That's his type. So it's mom, then the coworker, and they all basically got to be in the 60s. So that's pretty much it, huh? That's his thing.
It sounds that way.
Yeah.
I feel like the kid when he busts dad with grandma. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that's even a sentence.
Yeah.
Do you give that kid a all access trip to Disney World or Disneyland at that point? I feel like he deserved it.
Oh, he deserves something, dude. That's just I mean, it's one thing when your parents have drama, but when you walk in on that ridiculousness.
How about a little trophy that just says "World's Best Son"?
Right?
But then how do you feel about it that your mom goes on TikTok and tells everybody? So that you're definitely like, okay, now everybody knows our business.
He's 25 now. He probably doesn't mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think look, it'd be bad enough if I found out, but if my friends found out, they'd never, at least by my friends, I'd never hear the end of it. Oh, hey, guess what happened to your family?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's crazy that she's even on TikTok. I mean, at this point, like, why are you doing it? But I mean, I don't know what she's doing on TikTok that makes her a TikTok star.
Well, that's the other thing is like, well, if she spent all the time on TikTok, maybe that's how it was easy to cheat. Maybe the guy was like, she's never around anyway.
Well, TikTok didn't exist like 10 years ago.
It's a good point.
Maybe she was on Snapchat and the husband just had enough of it. He's like, I'm going to go for somebody that doesn't even know what this is about.
That's a good point. He's like, I'm sick of this social media that you're always on.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what? Your mom, she doesn't even have a MySpace account.
Yeah.
She still uses her Hotmail account.
She's still got AOL.
Yeah. I like an AOL girl. That's what I'm for.
I only get with women that have 12 o'clock flashing on their VCR.
It's the only girl for me.
That's my type.
That is, that's right.
VCR.
Please be kind and rewind. That's what I want.
Mind on this.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is, well, there you go. I mean, that's America right there. That's what I'm very excited about on that one. So, yeah. So
you hear those stories of people hooking up with like the person's sister or the mom or the grandma. It's just like, I can't even imagine that.
But you're hooking up with grandma. I mean, when do you, as mad as you might be, or
he's hooking up with mom-in-law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the kid, right? Isn't it? Wasn't
the kid didn't hook up with grandma.
That's what I'm saying. Dad is. Dad's hooking up with the kid's grandma.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if I'm the kid, it's like, Dad, it's grandma. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's,
grandma owes me more than just a Werther's candy at that point.
Yeah.
Is grandma better than hooking up with one of his friends, though?
Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if the kid was, like, 18, let's say. I know he was 16, but, like, if he was 18 and the dad's hooking up with all of his, like, friends.
This is the worst game of Would You Rather I want.
I think hooking up with a friend is better than hooking up with your grandma.
I agree, but
yeah, it's out of the family, man.
Yeah, that's true.
But, Steve,
Grandma's supposed to be that sweet old lady that hooks you up with, like, toys and candy.
But Granny's a freak.
She's not supposed to be going, playing with dad's candy.
You remember your history, though?
What's that?
Your history is that would be a great way for your grandma, to have gotten you back. You know, she walked in on you. You get to walk in on her. See, that would have been Steve's revenge. It would have been revenge against Steve.
But it wouldn't have really worked out that way, because then it would have been a whole other bag of worms, because that was my dad's mom.
Oh, and that would have been really horrible.
I mean, that's just like Taboo Part 6.
That's the only way this story could be worse. And I like how you use bag of worms, because that's exactly what it would have been. Hey, Grandma. Oh, that's just...
Why did she share this anyway? Like, was there someone asking her, like... Why'd your husband leave you?
Why does a TikTok person overshare? Good question, Steve. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. Do we need to? This is your business. I mean, maybe you should be a counselor talking about all this with everybody, because it's definitely a tough thing. But yeah, why do we need? Well, anyway, congratulations. I mean, it is in a way calf cow, right? Because I mean, at some point he had sex with her because he had the kid.
Yeah.
So it's
at some point.
Yeah. I mean, so therefore,
calf, really old cow.
Hey, I'm 60.
Yeah, you're really old.
Okay.
But I mean, to him, it's just relative. I mean, he's not
literally relative.
Oh, it's a whole other bag of worms.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. I'm very interested in talking to Danny about this next situation.
Uh-oh.
Because there's a woman in Connecticut who recently bought a house with her boyfriend and her ex-husband, and they're all moving into it with their 4 kids. And here's the thing. They've already been living together for a while, so it's not a big deal if they're moving in together in this new house. And the husband says, here's why it started. Their kid was sick, and he wanted the mom to be there. She says it just works for them, and her boyfriend and ex get along really well. And here are the ex-husband and the wife talking about it.
It just felt like the right thing to do at the time. And we had a child that was sick. I just felt he needed his mother here as well. And I just wanted to make it work.
And these guys never even had a disagreement, not once. I have disagreements with each of them all the time. But these two just get along. So it just works for us.
What if they become like drinking buddies or hang out like in like the man cave? Like, yeah, man, you know what I'm thinking about your ex now. He's like, oh yeah, I've been through that as well. You know, if anyone can bond, they can get past the whole "you're banging my ex-wife."
Yeah,
that part.
Well, I mean, when you think about polyamory, it's not just about the physical; it's also about support. And there, outside of sex, now she's got both men who she cares for and cared for. That's a lot of support. So one dude could go, hey, maybe you go talk to your ex. Maybe he can help you out with this.
Talk to your ex. He can handle this better than I can.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think that could be a benefit because, and also for the kids to have mom and dad in the same house is cool.
With a sick kid, so I can understand. You got to do what you got to do.
It takes a village,
They
man.
sound, I mean... who am I to judge?
Yeah, it takes a village, buddy. And it used to be you'd have all these big families living together to help out. But now we have less people in the family, and we surely don't have our parents living with us like we used to, and grandparents. And Danny, would you, especially since there's a lot more, blended families, different families, would you consider this?
I would like to think that eventually I could get there. And I honestly don't have a problem with my ex-wife's new fiance.
Right.
Me and the guy have talked before and it's fine. But she's told me you are not allowed in our house when I've gone to.
Because you wear your shoes in the house.
Well, that's true.
I wouldn't let you in my house either. I get it.
So far, I totally don't have a problem with any of this.
So it was just it was kind of a bad divorce, and she still just has a lot of.
So it's not him that doesn't want you around; it's her.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really talked to him about that, but he seems fine with me.
Well, if he's nice to you now, I mean, I can't imagine that he'd be like a jerk if you walked into the house.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things that I don't think she would be ready for it or wanting to deal with that type of thing. I mean, especially with a sick kid, I would consider it. I would consider it a lot more than if it was just like a normal situation. Like, hey, do you want to just move in with us?
I tell you,
I'm good.
Graham, I'm not in that situation, but. First, there's not a chance in hell I could do this. There's no. I mean,
no way.
I'm not crapping on them. Whatever works for anybody, that's not my thing. But there's no way in hell I could be in a house with like my ex.
It'd be weird.
What if you're the one that dumped her though? What if you realize
there's nothing? No, I'm done. I move on. I understand that there's a child involved, so that's the only reason why I'd even want to have communication with that person. Otherwise, that just seems like. I'm just living in a home of a headache. Like to me, it's like I'm out of the relationship. I don't want to go back into that relationship.
Wow. So you don't ever foresee the ability of going, look, we're just not good living together, but we still could be friends, just not living in the same house. Because living in the same house with somebody is nerve wracking. I like my son a lot better that I don't live with him.
Right.
I really, really do. And it's nothing against him. He's just his own being, and he lives the way he does. And I think he probably feels the same way about me.
I mean, I'm not going to be like evil towards someone. I wouldn't yell at them if I saw them or something. I could be cordial to somebody that was once in my life. There's no ill will, but there's no way in a million years you're going to get me to live in the same home as that.
What if it was a big home? You really could have your own.
There's not a house big enough.
What if it was an in-law apartment?
The only, maybe if it's look, we're going to let people live in Disney World.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you're at what's the furthest from one end to the other end?
What if I was the house next door? I've often thought about that. What if you got the house next door as your own place? No, not even that.
No, I'd prefer not even in the same city. I don't have to worry about running into you at Lowe's.
You say that.
Yeah.
But then again, baby tater tot, if you could see her on a regular basis.
No, I know that there's a massive difference in that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with a child involved, then I would be like, okay, fine, same zip code. But
there's no I'm with you, Steve. There's no child involved. What's the point? I don't need this.
That is I mean, that had to have been a tough sell to the current guy. Like, hey, I'm thinking about inviting my ex-husband to move in with us. I understand that there's a sick child involved, so that probably helped the conversation get to where it got to where they were okay with it. But that had to have been an awkward conversation.
I feel, though, as time goes on, this is going to be a little bit more common than what we're used to, because I feel like, especially like all the kids in my age group, when their parents were getting divorced, they hated each other. There was always just that anger towards each other. And now I'm seeing friends that are getting divorced and they're still really good friends with their ex. And they just kind of gotten to the point where, like, you know what? We loved each other. We don't love each other anymore, but we're still cool. Like, there is no hatred anymore. And I don't know if that's just a generational thing, since divorce used to be such a taboo thing. You really had to hate someone. And now people are like, you know what? We just don't work together. It's not that we hate each other. We just don't work.
All right. So you're dating a dude and he was once married, so he has a kid. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, I need to invite my ex into the house that we're living together in. Would you be okay with that?
If she's not a bitch, then yeah. Because I understand the idea of co-parenting, and it does take a village. Like, my parents and I are, like, I joke that I'm the second mother to my foster brother, because it takes all of us to take care of him.
And Vicky, I think that the way you guys are doing that is going to be so great for your foster brother, because I think that's the problem kids have, is that there's not enough people watching out for them. Like,
plus he's got a great
be.
Nickname.
Prince Miggs.
Oh, that makes him really. And I think Vicky's right. Vicky, generational, because I'm looking at Steve's face. It's like inherent in him. His brain is just no effing way. And I also know baby boomers, the same thing. No effing way. But I think, younger millennials, Gen Zs, and even the Gen As, the alphas are going to be like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody.
What the hell are the Gen A's?
Yeah, what the hell? Gen A.
Generation Alpha. They're the next ones after Z. We got a new generation out there.
What are they, 3?
Yeah,
are they 3 years old right now?
Yeah, they're like.
So we're talking about their generation already?
Well, yeah, might as well. They're here.
Oh, they're not bringing children into the world yet.
Well, that doesn't mean they won't.
They barely could even stand.
Look, in 10 to 15 years, guess what? They're going to be here.
Well, you know what? I'll be dead by then.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't know you were planning on leaving in 15 years. I would like to still be around, but if you're going to leave, all right, well, we're taking applications. It's going to be BJ and who used to work with the dead guy over there.
The Gen Alpha show.
Yeah, isn't it? It's so bizarre to be alive as long as I have and realize it's literally generational, that it's inherent in whatever our teachings and our, and our indoctrinated beliefs that were given to us. Whereas people will look at you and I, Steve, and go, I don't know why it's such a big deal. And you and I will be like, oh, no, it's a big deal. I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones.
That's so much. I live with my ex right now. We're divorced 10 years. The main reason to raise our children. I have a kid with my ex, and we're roommates. We get along better now. And my boyfriend's ex-wife moved into our house. Is actually super great, well-maintained, with an extra adult and having 2 kids. Here, obviously, that's nothing to do with the children part, but you said that the next generation is Generation Alpha.
That's right, sir.
When did we, is there a Generation Q out there? Is there a generation, all of a sudden, we just went full-on alphabet for the generations.
Well, we started with you guys.
Right.
Gen X. I don't know why it became Gen X. I don't know how. Yeah, because it was the silent generation, the baby boomers. That's the only time I started knowing they gave names. And then you guys became Gen X for some reason.
Right, but then all of a sudden it just kept going? Because then there's a millennials. They're not called...
No, they're Generation Y.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
They are. I mean,
I know, but... so at what point are we going to stop this with these letters?
Well, we're going into the Greek ones now with Alpha and
I'm sorry.
Beta and
I can see Steve's point, because we're getting to that science. And he doesn't like that. Yeah, he doesn't like that.
Well, no, for years, nobody was you baby boomers who aren't it was no letter attached to your generation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's your fault. It's your generation. I don't know why you guys want to be called
X. It's the generations after that decided to be followers and follow after us.
So we were different. So you called yourself a letter, and now you're pissed that other people are using the letter system because they thought it was a good idea. Come on with your own. All right.
Apparently, the reason why they use X is because it was popular in pop culture and stuff, like Malcolm X and everything.
Oh.
So Generation X ended up sticking. The X refers to the unknown variable or to a desire not to be defined.
Oh, and then
it's more mathy.
And then they ended up defining it, the entire system, by going
everyone just
Generation
followed
Y.
it.
Yeah. Well, now we got Generation A, baby, the alphas. See, if you want,
when we get to Generation Q.
No, you need Generation O, Generation Omega. That will end it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Alpha and the Omega.
And then it'll be done, and then they'll come up with something else.
So dumb.
Steve, I cannot wait for you to be 70. You are going to be such a curmudgeon.
You're almost there already, man.
He just has no patience for the changes.
No, I'm all right with whatever. I just ask the questions.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm not gonna like hate on somebody for. I just ask the questions because I'm curious. I don't understand why we're doing this.
Here's what happens in life.
At some point, we just got to come up with your own term.
See, this is the thing. You're starting to turn the corner of being the chill, hey, whatever guy, because it could go, in life it goes both ways. I've seen my friends who were like the chillest, amazing guys who were, when they were younger, and now they hate everything. And then me, I'm starting to make the change of hating everything and becoming like a more chill guy. It doesn't look good for you.
Because you're not about hating it. I just think it's stupid. That's all. There's a big difference. I can still be okay with something, but think it's stupid.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
I'm not like mad at them.
Not yet.
This is stupid.
Not yet.
Now we're the Jennifer. What's next? The betas?
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. That follows A.
Yeah.
But the X wasn't after a Greek letter.
No, B is B. They would just call it beta, but it'd be Generation B, then Generation C. I don't know what's going to happen.
Don't you realize how stupid this is?
I didn't think it was stupid at all. I figured, well, Y comes after X, and then they still gave them a nickname anyway. They called them millennials,
right?
Even though they were Generation Y,
and Gen Z,
and then Gen Z, which they call the snowflakes.
Well, that's depending on who you ask. Yes.
Well, basically, people that don't like this letter system will definitely call them the snowflakes. And I don't know what they're going to call Generation A. Like what? The woke generation?
Well, you just said they're calling them the alphas.
No, like
A for alpha, but they could come up with a catchy nickname. You guys don't have a nickname. You're just Generation X.
See, this is what I mean. This is all very stupid. I don't hate it. I just think it's dumb.
You realize Yoda said that that stupid leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. It's documented
really? Is that how
in Star
that
Wars.
goes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Stupid leads to hate. Hate leads to
I don't
anger.
remember that. I watched Star Wars.
Anger leads to the dark side.
I think you're making this up.
Anger leads to the old side.
Someone says this is Generation WTF.
That's it.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. If I can't afford to pay my bills, how am I going to afford attorneys and bankruptcy fees?
One of the things people ask me all the time as a bankruptcy lawyer is that how am I going to pay all these fees and costs because I'm here because I can't afford to pay my bills? And of course, we understand that. I mean, being in the bankruptcy field. But one of the things to remember is that if you decide, once you make the decision to file bankruptcy, you can stop paying on all of the creditors that are going to be included in the bankruptcy, and those are the funds that you can use that you have been paying your creditors to pay your attorney fees and court costs to get your case filed. And once your case is filed, you're not going to have most of those payments anymore.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.